Okay, do you know about the development about of stomach or GIT? Yes? No. Okay, do you know about the organogenesis? When does any organ develop in fetus? After how many weeks of fertilization, most of the organs they start developing? Stomach will also be developing at the same time. What is that week? First week, third week, fifth week, fifth week. Okay. So it is the fifth week when this stomach starts developing. So it is a tubular structure when it first starts developing. By the end of the seventh or eighth week, it takes the shape of an adult stomach. Though the capacity is not so big like an adult stomach, which is 1500 ml, it is just 50 ml in a newborn. So what are the regions that are occupied by the stomach? So you all know about the nine quadrants that have been divided in the abdomen, so as to locate the different organs in the abdominal cavity. So what are those 9 quadrants? What is the name of this quadrant? Umbilical. Please. Above the umbilical region? Epigastric. Below the umbilical? Then on the right above? Below the subcostal margin? Hypochondrium. Left side? Left hypochondrium. Then towards the right and left of the umbilical region? And in this region, hypogastric region, right and left, iliac fossa. So this stomach is occupying almost 3 quadrants. So it is present in the 3 quadrants, such a big organ that it is present in the 3 regions. One is the umbilical region, other is the epigastric region, and the left hypochondriac region. So it is occupying the 3 quadrants of the abdominal cavity. Now what are the different shapes of the stomach that you can see? One is the normal J shape, most commonly found in every human being. Then you have steer-horn stomach, and another one is sphenic stomach. So these are the 3 shapes that you find in a stomach. So what are the 2 different ends of the stomach? One is the esophageal end, other is the duodenal end. The end of the esophagus starts the stomach. So dilatation starts from the end of the esophagus. That region of the stomach is called as cardiac region, and the region where the duodenum starts. So before that, the region of the stomach, that is called as pyloric region. Now where are these regions are located? Cardiac region and the pyloric region. So cardiac region is situated left of the T11. So these are the vertebral level, T11 and L1. So cardiac is towards the left, while the pyloric is towards the right side. So one end, that is left of T11, is the location of the cardiac end, and the right of L1 is the pyloric end. Why this will be important for you? Why do you want to know these 2 ends? क्या पर्पस सॉल्व होने वाला है ये लोकेशंस जान के? Living anatomy is a term that you will be using in your whole life, professional life. So that is the surface anatomy part, that you will be how you will be locating the cardiac region when a patient comes to you, and how you will be locating the pyloric region. Now what are the different parts of the stomach? So in a typical stomach, you have a cardiac region, the end of the esophageal end. So namely the parts of the stomach, they are cardiac part, fundus part, body, and the pyloric part. So how you will differentiate all these parts? First is the esophageal end. The end of the esophagus where the dilatation starts, that is the cardiac end. There is a one notch, that is an external feature of a stomach, where the greater curvature and the esophageal end meet. This is called as angle of His or cardiac area. So this cardiac area, from here if you draw a horizontal line, this area above, this will be called as the fundus of the stomach. Then starts the body. Now how you will demarcate where is the body is ending? Another feature which is externally located is incisura angularis. That is the end of the lesser curvature. There is again an angle which is called as incisura angularis. From here we will draw a line towards the greater curvature. So that end marks the end of the body. Then starts the pyloric part, which is divided into pyloric antrum and the pyloric canal. After this pylorus, which structure will be starting? Duodenum. Now the stomach, if we see the internal features and the markings, we have the lesser curvature, the tubular structure that was developed at the 8th week. There is a disparity in between the two walls developing. One was developing very fast and one was developing slow. So the slower one, it only forms the lesser curvature. So it is has a lesser length compared to the greater curvature. So that's why they have given the name lesser curvature and the greater curvature. So this is the lesser curvature of the stomach and this one is the greater curvature. So on the right side of the stomach is the lesser curvature, towards the left side of the tubular structure is the greater curvature. Then you have two surfaces. If you see this stomach anatomically, it is raised somewhat because of the retroperitoneal organs which are situated behind the stomach. So it has two surfaces, anterior and posterior, which becomes anterosuperior, and the posterior one becomes the posterosuperior because it is placed obliquely. So anterosuperior and the posterior-inferior are the two surfaces of the stomach. Then this is the cardiac notch that we have seen. And another name that I have told you for the cardiac notch is the angle of His. Now what is the location of the cardiac orifice? One was the vertebral level towards the left, that is the T11. Another is the costal level. So if you want to find out through your costal margins the cardiac end, then you have to locate it at the left 7th costal cartilage. How you find the 7th costal cartilage? How do we find the 7th costal cartilage? फिफ्थ इंटरकॉस्टल स्पेस कैसे फाइंड करते हो? How do you find the fifth intercostal space? फिफ्थ इंटरकॉस्टल स्पेस में क्या इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है? एपेक्स बीट. थैंक यू. अब बताओ 7 तक कैसे पहुंचोगे? 5th तक कैसे पहुंचते हो? 7 तक भी वैसे ही पहुंचोगे. कैसे काउंटिंग करते हैं? तुम बताओ कैसे काउंटिंग करते हैं? प्रोमिनेंट होता है. पीछे बैठ जाओ. जुगुलर नॉच होती है. हाँ, बैठ जाओ. पीछे कभी कभी मेरे कॉन्सेप्ट्स खराब हो जाते हैं तुम्हारे साथ. चलो खड़े हो जाओ. पीछे नेक्स्ट. हाँ, किसी को भी पूरी रो में आता है तो बता दो. नहीं आता। और किसी को आता है? पूरी रो को नहीं आता। पीछे तो खुद खड़े होके बोलने में प्रॉब्लम है तुम्हें? इतनी देर से पूरी क्लास से पूछ रही हूँ। बैठो। So angle of Lewis, that is the manubriosternal joint that marks the second costal cartilage. So from below there you will have the second intercostal space. Then you will be going next to it and you will reach the fifth intercostal space, and similarly you will reach the seventh costal cartilage. So at the seventh costal cartilage, where you will find this cardiac notch, it will be towards the left, not onto the right. तो जिधर apex beat find करनी है वहीं पे cardiac notch find करनी है. Cardiac notch of the stomach. Cardiac notch heart के साथ confuse नहीं करेंगे. And it is situated 2.5 centimeter away from the median plane. Apex beat कितना away होती है median plane से? Mid clavicular line से कितना away होती है? 1 centimeter away from the mid clavicular line. Now the pyloric orifice. Now how you will identify the pyloric orifice when an individual is lying on a surgical table. So there is a one demarcation pre-pyloric vein of Mayo that is crossing this pyloric region. So there is a vein that will be crossing this region that will be demarcating the pyloric region in case of a living person. And if you do the dissection, maybe if you find this pre-pyloric vein of Mayo, I have not seen it. Then where it is located? Vertebral level is L1. उसका vertebral level क्या है cardiac notch का? T11, इसका है L1. So it is situated towards the right. वो left में है, ये right में है. 1.25 towards the right of the median plane is located your pyloric region, pyloric orifice. Then coming to the lesser curvature and the greater curvature. So what lies at the lesser curvature and what is the border that is formed by the lesser curvature? So this lesser curvature is towards your right side of the body, so it is forming the right border of the stomach, and it is also giving attachment to the peritoneum. Peritoneum has been covered, so you know what is lesser omentum and what is content of the lesser omentum. So what is the content of the lesser omentum? How is the lesser omentum formed? It is a fold of the peritoneum. What are the content of this lesser omentum? That you will find along the lesser curvature of the stomach. It is left, लिखा हुआ है तब भी नहीं बोलोगे? क्या लिखा है? ये कवर नहीं हुआ है क्या लेसर ओमेंटम? लेसर ओमेंटम, ग्रेटर ओमेंटम. तुम लोगों के फेसेस से तो नहीं लग रहा कि मुझे कवर हुआ है. कराया था? कराया था ना? तो फिर बताओ क्या होता है लेसर ओमेंटम, क्या होता है ग्रेटर ओमेंटम? नेक्स्ट टू यू. क्या है ओमेंटम, किसको बोलते हो? क्या? नेक्स्ट. Next, peritoneal folds. So how you will differentiate between the lesser omentum and the greater omentum? Which structure is called as the policeman of the abdominal cavity? Greater omentum. So it is completely covering the abdominal cavity and hanging from the lesser curvature or greater curvature? Greater curvature. So lesser omentum is towards the lesser curvature, sit down. And another greater curvature gives attachment to the greater omentum. So they are the peritoneal folds, so there will be contents in the folds. Now these contents on the lesser curvature, they are having the left gastric artery and the right gastric artery, which is the branch from the hepatic artery. So these will be finally supplying the stomach also. Now greater curvature, as I told you, it has a more growth compared to the lesser curvature in the tubular structure. So it is a bigger one compared to the lesser curvature. This we have already discussed. What is incisura angularis? It is the end of the lesser curvature that marks the incisura angularis, and if you draw a line opposite onto the greater curvature, that will be demarcating the pyloric part of the stomach. Now these are the attachments from the greater curvature. There are different ligaments: gastrophrenic ligament, gastrosplenic ligament, and greater omentum. Greater omentum, you have told me, that is attached onto the greater curvature of the stomach. Gastrophrenic ligament. Phrenic is the term for the diaphragm, so it is going from the greater curvature towards the diaphragm. And another one, gastrosplenic ligament, that has been removed here. So it is attached onto the greater curvature to the spleen. So they have three ligaments. One is the fold, peritoneum fold, and another is the gastrophrenic and gastrosplenic ligament that are attached on the greater curvature. Now the content of this side, that is the line greater curvature, right gastroepiploic artery and left gastroepiploic artery. Remember the names because it will be supplying the stomach also. This is right gastroepiploic and left gastroepiploic artery onto the greater curvature of the stomach. Now coming to the relations of the stomach. So stomach has two surfaces. One is anterosuperior, another is posterior-inferior. So anterosuperior, if you remove the anterior abdominal wall, you will reach to the anterosuperior surface. So some content of this anterosuperior surface will be in directly contact with the anterior abdominal wall, and some will be in relation to the different organs that are present around the stomach. And when you go to the posterior-inferior, so posterior-inferior will be forming the stomach bed over which the stomach is lying. So posterior-inferior relations, they are also called as the stomach bed. Now on to this anterosuperior surface, if you see, what are the structures that are organs which are overlying this region? Some portion of the liver is there, some subcostal margin you can see is over here, and some area is not covered with any organs. So this area which is not covered with any organ, it is directly related to the anterior abdominal wall. So if you remove the anterior abdominal wall, you will directly see this lower part of the stomach. Now what are the anterior relations or anterosuperior relations of the stomach? One is the diaphragm, that is the left dome of the diaphragm. Another is this one is the left lobe of the liver. One is the right lobe and another is the left lobe. So this left lobe of the liver is also covering the anterosuperior part of the stomach. Now this is a list of stomach bed relations, that is the posterior-inferior relations of the stomach. So if you hold the stomach up, you will find all these organs behind the stomach which are forming the stomach bed. So one is the left crus of diaphragm, splenic artery, this is the splenic artery, left suprarenal gland. So you have left kidney and left suprarenal gland in the posterior-inferior relation. You have spleen, pancreas, this is the pancreas, and the transverse mesocolon. So this is the transverse mesocolon along with the left colic flexure. So these are the structures which are forming the posterior-inferior relations. So if you remove the stomach, you will find the transverse mesocolon, left colic flexure. Then another layer is there which is having the pancreas, splenic artery. Then behind that you have the posterior abdominal wall which is having the kidney. So on this side of the stomach you have left kidney, left suprarenal gland, and onto this left side you have the spleen. So this splenic artery is ending into the spleen. So these are the posterior-inferior relations. This is very commonly asked question in your exams. Now one area is gastric triangle. The area that was I am telling you that it comes in direct contact with the anterior abdominal wall. So that is termed as a gastric angle. So there is a triangle which is called as gastric triangle, which has a boundary that is the inferior border of the liver, costal margins, and lower one you have transverse colon running downward here. So these three structures, they form a gastric triangle. So this area of the stomach that comes in the gastric triangle is in direct relation to the anterior abdominal wall. Why it is necessary to know about this gastric triangle? There can be any esophageal obstruction in a patient. So if there is esophageal obstructions, then you have to put a gastric tube in that patient. So you go to find this gastric triangle and you put the tube in the stomach through this region. So this is the gastric triangle area. Then another is Strawberry space. So this Strawberry space, where does it lie? So before I tell you Strawberry space, you have to tell me, do you know anything about the percussion of the heart? How do it sounds, percussion of the heart? Is it dull or resonant? So which area is resonant? Lungs are resonant. Any area in stomach can be resonant? No. Any area in stomach can be resonant? कौन सा रीजन स्टमक का तुम्हें लगता है कि रेजोनेंट हो सकता है? Fundus. So if you see the relation or anterosuperior relation, so it is under the cover of the left dome of the diaphragm. So your cardiac area is extending towards the left side. You have the apex beat in the fifth intercostal space. So if you want to find out the fundus area, so how do you will find? Through percussion. लेफ्ट डोम ऑफ डायफ्राम तो हम फाइंड नहीं कर सकते, तो हम रेजोनेंट और डल एरिया ही फाइंड कर सकते हैं. तो लेफ्ट डोम ऑफ डायफ्राम के ऊपर क्या है? हार्ट. लेफ्ट डोम ऑफ डायफ्राम के नीचे क्या है? स्टमक. तो अगर परकशन करते हुए आओगे लेफ्ट ऑफ द मीडियन प्लेन, तो सबसे पहले साउंड कैसी आएगी? रेजोनेंट आएगी. हाउ मेनी ऑफ यू से रेजोनेंट आएगी? प्लीज रेज योर हैंड. कोई भी नहीं कह रहा. डल कोई कह रहा है? एक ही बोल रहा है डल है. एक सारा बोल रही है डल है. और कोई? 3 लोग बोल रहे हैं डल होगा. लेफ्ट डोम ऑफ डायफ्राम टुवर्ड्स द लेफ्ट साइड अबव. वेरी गुड. डल होगा बिकॉज कार्डियक एरिया इज देयर. देन इफ यू कम बिलो दैट एरिया, अगर आप परकशन करते रहते हो और नीचे आते हो, तुम्हें एक डल साउंड से चेंज मिलता है. दैट इज रेजोनेंट साउंड. So that area is lying under the left dome of the diaphragm. That area is the fundus region, which is covered with the costal margin. जैसे ही तुम anterior abdominal wall open करोगे, तुम्हें stomach का सारा area नहीं दिख रहा है. So that area which is hiding behind the costal margin, that is the fundus area of the stomach. So that area is the resonant area, क्योंकि वहाँ पे air filled रहती है. Food पीछे ऊपर तक नहीं जाता है. So that is the resonant, always a resonant area. So what are the boundaries of the Strawberry space? It is above, it is bounded by the lower border of the left lung, below by the left costal margin. Onto the right side you have lower border of the left lobe of the liver, and towards the left side we have the transverse colon. Now if we see the interior of the stomach, what we will find? So in the interior of stomach, you find a lot of folds are there. Towards the lesser curvature, inside the body, there are so many folds. So what these folds are called? When you were studying the histology, You know about the gastric glands कि फंडस में gastric glands कैसी होती हैं, बॉडी में कैसी होती हैं, पाइलोरस में कैसी होती हैं. So these gastric glands they have to open into the interior of the stomach. Glands का काम क्या है? Secretions को pour करना. So that secretion has to reach the stomach. Now these gastric glands they are opening into this interior of the stomach, and these folds, these are the mucosal folds which are called as the gastric rugae. So you don't find the stomach always folded into these folds. So these gastric rugae they are temporary. When your stomach is empty, so these gastric rugae will be numerous. If the stomach is full, then you will not find any gastric rugae. It would be a flat structure, and there will be some dots will be there that are forming the gastric gland openings. Now these gastric rugae they are regular and irregular. So these along the lesser curvature, if you see, these are well demarcated longitudinal lines along the lesser curvature. जैसे lesser curvature turn हो रहा है वैसे ही ये gastric rugae turn हो रहे हैं. If we come towards the greater curvature, they are irregular. Now where they are regular, they are forming the canal of Megan-Strauss. So this is a gastric canal. Whenever you drink any hot or cold drink or any irritating substance, so you feel irritation in your stomach. So why do you feel that irritation? Because your liquid is going to directly hit this lesser curvature, interior of the lesser curvature, which is marked by the longitudinal curvatures, which is called as the canal of Megan-Strauss. So this area is very prone to the peptic ulcers. So the patients which come to you with the peptic ulcers, you advise them not to take any hot drinks, not to take any irritating drinks like alcohol. So if the patient avoids these, then this peptic ulcer can heal, but it takes lot of time in healing because it is in continuous touch with the meals that you are taking. So this was about the internal structure of the stomach. Next, coming to the blood supply of the stomach. So before starting the blood supply, how does the abdominal aorta how does the aorta enters the abdominal cavity? There is a descending thoracic aorta, then there is an abdominal aorta. So how that aorta enters into the abdominal cavity? There is some opening in the diaphragm through which it enters. That opening is called as एओर्टा को निकलना है तो क्या होगा, क्या नाम होगा? हाँ, if aorta passes through an opening, what is the name of that opening? डायफ्राम में कौन कौन सी ओपनिंग्स होती है? हाँ, तुम ही बता. Aortic opening. So this aortic opening is present at which vertebral level? No. It is VOA, T8, T10, T12. 3 डायफ्रेगमेटिक ओपनिंग है. वॉइस ऑफ अमेरिका से लोग याद रखते हैं. वेना कैवल ओपनिंग है, ईसोफेजियल ओपनिंग है, एओर्टिक ओपनिंग है. दो के डिफरेंसेस पे प्रेजेंट है, T8, T10, T12. Along with the aorta, what else passes through this aortic opening? Thoracic duct. This aortic opening is present towards the costal region, towards the sternum or towards the vertebral region. Anterior होती है, posterior होती है. एब्डोमिनल कैविटी में एओर्टा फाइंड करोगे तो एंटीरियर एब्डोमिनल वॉल ओपन करके कहाँ फाइंड करोगे? जस्ट बिलो द एंटीरियर एब्डोमिनल वॉल और टुवर्ड्स द वर्टिब्रा. थोड़ा लॉजिक यूज कर सकते हो. T12 लेवल पे ओपनिंग थी, पोस्टीरियर साइड पे ओपनिंग होती है. तो पोस्टीरियर साइड पे होती है तो नीचे लंबर रीजन में जाके फाइंड करोगे एओर्टा. T12 के बाद तो लंबर रीजन स्टार्ट हो जाता है. चलो छोड़. So the next comes the celiac trunk. So celiac trunk is one of the branch of the abdominal aorta. Now this celiac trunk is giving most of the branches. Now what are the branches through which this stomach will be supplied? क्यों आ रही है इतनी ऐसी तुमको ग्रीन शर्ट? स्कंद के नेक्स्ट जो बैठा है, हाँ क्या हुआ? आ जाओ आगे बैठ जाओ. So this is the celiac trunk. Now it is giving the different branches that we have named them. One is the left gastric artery. So this is the left gastric artery. So another should be the right gastric artery. When we were studying the lesser omentum and the greater omentum, there were two contents on the lesser omentum and the greater omentum, that were left gastric, right gastric towards the lesser omentum, and towards the greater omentum it was right gastroepiploic and the left gastroepiploic arteries. So these two arteries on the respective sides, they anastomose with each other. The point is we should know from where these branches are coming. This celiac trunk is giving the direct branch, that is the left gastric artery. Now this right gastric artery is not coming as a direct branch from the celiac trunk. First it is giving the proper hepatic artery, then a branch which is coming recurrent towards the lesser curvature is the right gastric artery. So right gastric artery is a branch from the proper hepatic artery, left gastric artery is a direct branch from the celiac trunk. Now on to the greater curvature. You have right gastroepiploic and left gastroepiploic. Now this left gastroepiploic artery is coming from the splenic artery. So splenic artery is a direct branch from the celiac trunk, and then there is a left gastric epiploic artery that is coming from the splenic artery. Another artery, that is the right gastroepiploic artery, if we trace it, it is coming from the gastroduodenal artery. So this gastroduodenal artery is giving you right gastroepiploic artery. Now blood supply, left gastric, right gastric. left gastric कहाँ से आ रही है? डायरेक्ट ब्रांच है celiac trunk की. right gastric proper hepatic artery से आ रही है. Then towards the greater curvature, two arteries are there, right gastroepiploic, left gastroepiploic. left gastroepiploic कहाँ से आ रही है? Splenic artery. So this is not a direct branch from the celiac trunk. Left gastroepiploic, gastroduodenal artery. Some arteries are there which are short gastric artery, which are branches of the splenic artery, and posterior gastric artery, which is supplying the posterior wall of the fundus of the stomach. So it is also arising from the splenic artery. Now venous drainage of the stomach. So venous drainage of stomach कहाँ जाएगा? Liver में through the portal vein. ठीक है? So how it reaches the portal vein? Now your right gastric and left gastric arteries were there on the lesser curvature. So similar name veins will be there, right gastric vein and the left gastric veins, which are directly going to the portal vein. Left gastric epiploic, short gastric artery, they will drain into the splenic artery which forms the portal vein. Splenic artery or superior mesenteric artery, they join to form the portal vein. So this one is superior mesenteric artery that will be formed here, and another one, that is the splenic artery, splenic vein, which will be joining this one, superior mesenteric vein. So these two join to form the portal vein. So right gastric, left gastric, they are draining into the portal vein. Left gastroepiploic, short gastric veins, they are draining into the splenic veins. Short gastric artery भी splenic vein से आ रही है, so it is draining into the splenic vein. Left gastroepiploic artery भी splenic artery से आती है, so it is draining into the splenic vein. Right gastroepiploic artery, it is draining into the superior mesenteric vein. So when these two join, splenic and superior mesenteric, they form a portal vein that opens into the liver. Now coming to the lymphatic drainage of the stomach. So for the lymphatic drainage of the stomach, you have to divide this stomach into two parts. One is towards the lesser curvature. This region is 2/3 part of the stomach, and this region is 1/3 part of the stomach. What is this line called as? It is called as the watershed line. So you have to draw a line to divide the stomach into the two-third and one-third part, two-third towards the lesser curvature, one-third towards the greater curvature. Now all the nodes of this lymphatic drainage will be finally going to the celiac nodes. Celiac nodes will be found around the celiac trunk. So how do they reach? Some of them they reach directly to the celiac nodes and some they reach indirectly. So which are nearer to the lesser curvature will be reaching towards the celiac node directly. That means lesser curvature as having lesser left gastric node, right gastric nodes. So they will be draining into the celiac nodes directly. Now towards this greater curvature we are having pancreatico-splenic nodes. Then you have right gastroepiploic nodes and the pyloric nodes. So they drain into this right gastric nodes and finally reaching into the celiac nodes. So this lymphatic drainage of the stomach, you have to remember again you have this short note on these lymphatic drainage. Now the lymphatic drainage of the stomach, this is also going towards your supraclavicular lymph nodes. That is the left supraclavicular lymph nodes is also draining this region. So if a patient comes to you with a swelling in the left supraclavicular region, so you can suggest him the biopsy of that region. Why? Even you can think there can be a metastasis of this region to the left supraclavicular lymph nodes. Why? Because these celiac nodes, they go to the left supraclavicular lymph nodes also. So that is called as the, so this cancer is also called, this sign is also called as Strasser's sign. So if there is a patient coming to you with the left supraclavicular swelling, then you can think of a metastasis from the stomach. Next, coming to the nerve supply of the stomach, so it is a viscera. So what do you expect a nerve supply? It could be a motor, sensory or autonomic. Autonomic. So if there is autonomic, it would be coming from the sympathetic and the parasympathetic. What does the sympathetic response do? पैरासिम्पथेटिक होगा तो क्या होगा? स्टिमुलेशन होगा स्टमक का, कार्डिक एंड ओपन होगा, पायलोरिक एंड ओपन होगा. सिंपैथेटिक होगा तो भूख लगेगी, खाना खाने का मन करेगा? नहीं करेगा. क्यों नहीं करेगा? कंस्ट्रिक्शन हो जाएगा स्फिंक्टर्स का. There is a sphincter mechanism also onto your cardiac ends and the pyloric end. So if you touch the stomach at the cardiac end, it will be less thickened compared to your pyloric end. The sphincters, they are formed by the muscles. So the muscles which are forming the sphincter at the pyloric end, they are circular muscles which are thickened over there. So if you feel it, it is very thick compared to cardiac end. And if and the esophageal end, that is the cardiac end, there is no such kind of sphincter is present, but there is physiological sphincter which is present over there. So what physiological sphincter could be present over there? Esophageal end कहाँ से पास कर रहा है? Diaphragm से पास कर रहा है. So through that opening it is passing, so that if it contracts, that is forming the physiological sphincter for the cardiac end. तो cardiac end पे होता है physiological, pyloric end पे होता है true sphincter. So the wall of the pyloric region is thickened. Now the sympathetic nerve supply, it is coming through the celiac plexus. So celiac plexus will be around the celiac artery. Sympathetic discharge कहाँ से होता है? Sympathetic region कौन सा है? Craniosacral, thoracolumbar. Thoracolumbar. So these fibers, they are coming from the thoracolumbar region. So these efferent sympathetic fibers, they are vasomotor, and efferent fibers, they carry the pain to the spinal cord. Now this parasympathetic, it is coming through the vagus nerve. Now this vagus nerve, here we divide it into the anterior and the posterior vagal trunk. So anterior vagal trunk and the posterior vagal trunk is carrying the parasympathetic fibers to the stomach. Now this anterior vagal trunk divides into the anterior gastric and the hepatic branches, while the posterior vagal trunk it divides into the posterior gastric and the celiac branches. तो ये क्या था पहले राइट और लेफ्ट जैसे ट्यूब डेवलप हुई थी, so these nerves were towards the right and the left, but due to the dilatation of the stomach, this nerves they also moved along with these curvatures. So one became anterior, another became posterior. Though it was right and left vagus nerves were there, but they become right anterior vagal trunk and the posterior vagal trunk with the development of the stomach. Now coming to the clinical anatomy. So this we have discussed Trosser signs. Then one is Krukenberg tumor of ovaries. If the metastasis spreads to the ovaries, it is called as the Krukenberg tumor. So this is the transthylomic spread of the gastric cancer to the ovaries. Then gastric cancer can spread to the umbilicus. So in case that lymphatic swollen nodules, they are called as the sister Joseph nodules. Then peptic ulcer, there are two kinds, gastric ulcers and the duodenal ulcers. How you will differentiate between the gastric ulcer and the duodenal ulcer? गैस्ट्रिक अल्सर स्टमक में होगा, अलोंग द लेसर कर्वेचर होगा, ग्रेटर कर्वेचर होगा. ड्यूडेनल अल्सर पाइलोरस के बाद होगा, तभी ड्यूडेनम स्टार्ट होता है, स्मॉल इंटेस्टाइन. तो डिफ्रेंशिएट कैसे करेंगे? एक में पेशेंट कंप्लेन करता है मैंने फूड खाया, मुझे जलन हो रही है, इरिटेशन हो रही है, और कुछ में कंप्लेन करता है कि आधे घंटे बाद हो रही है, मुझे आधे घंटे बाद, खाने के 1 घंटे बाद कंप्लेन लेके आता है. सो किसको गैस्ट्रिक अल्सर मानेंगे, किसको ड्यूडेनल अल्सर मानेंगे? हाँ, खाना खाते ही हो गया तो गैस्ट्रिक, देर में हो रहा है क्योंकि मूवमेंट हो रहा है फूड का टुवर्ड्स द ड्यूडेनम, तब ड्यूडेनल अल्सर का पेन है वो. दैट्स ऑल.